All right, y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to the 38th episode of Just Absolutely Boxing Podcast. My name is Ant,
It's your boy P.
and we are here today to go ahead and talk a little bit about Wilder Ortiz. Everybody knows the outcome. Wilder scored a very dramatic stoppage, knockout, whatever you want to call it, over Luis Ortiz. But kind of want to just ask some questions here, man. Like the fight, like what does this fight really do for Wilder? Does it push him in that road to greatness now? Does it really solidify him as a true heavyweight? So many haters, they think he just fights bums. But is this that one fight that really does it for him? And does he really want it now? But before we get into that, man, what's been going on, P?
Not too much, Ant. Just working, grinding, as usual. You know,
Yeah,
keeping my ear to the street,
true,
keeping up
yeah.
with boxing. So,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just been chilling today. Like I told you earlier, I was just watching the Creed movie. First time I seen it. You know, if you ain't seen it out there, I ain't gonna break any of the story to you. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Like I say, technically, I felt it was a good movie. I think they covered that aspect of the fighter where you kind of watching him go to the ring and what he really deals with. They really kind of they put you in that spot where he's really feeling the tension and the nervousness. You know what I mean?
yeah,
They really, I felt that really they really covered that because while I was watching it, you were really feeling it for him, like him the first time he was taking on his first top contender. I will talk about this one funny scene, kind of like where he was like freaking out and stuff, and he kind of wanted to take his gloves off to go do something, but it's just a funny scene. Like whenever once you check it out, you'll see what I mean, man.
all right, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
me, yeah, I haven't seen it, y'all. I mean, that's like the one boxing movie I haven't seen. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it on the list and knock it out.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. It's definitely a good one, man. But like I told you, I still need to watch the other Rocky movies. So yeah. But getting to this Wilder Ortiz fight, man, like we said, the night right after the fight when I texted you, man, like the first words I can say about Wilder was like he's a real fighter, man. Like not the best boxer, of course. It wasn't about his, technical performance, but just what he went through going to the ring and what he went through in the ring and what he's going through out of the ring. And he just continues to keep going. And that just
Yeah,
to me describes a real fighter.
yeah,
Everybody wants to tear down his performance, but to me, like we were saying in our predictions, in the last episode, we already said before, like, okay, Ortiz is this better boxer, but we know what Wilder he can do. We already talked about the unorthodox style he possesses, but we also said he has that will to win, and that's what's most important, right?
at the end of the day.
Yeah, because like you told me like you were going through so many different emotions. Like, how was that for you when you were watching it, man?
Um, it was an emotional roller coaster, and I ain't gonna lie, it was a lot of things going on. A lot of drama. It kept me on the edge of my seat and wondering what was gonna happen next. To be honest, but overall, I thought it was a great performance from both guys, and definitely can't take nothing away from Ortiz. He went out on the shield. That's how you supposed to go out. That's how a champion goes out. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So this was an older man when they're in there with a young lion. Had him in trouble. Definitely rocked him a few times, but just Wilder proved to be too much. He is a force to be reckoned with. And one thing I want to say too, and is like people, oh he almost got knocked out in round seven. Round seven, okay, anybody can get hurt. The difference is knowing what to do when you get hurt. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? He knew what to do when he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? He knew to hold on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was a very smart move and a very pivotal moment in the fight because I mean he was almost out of there. You know what I mean? Another guy might have had him out of there. So just being smart enough to know what to do, when to do it. You know what I mean? That was another feather in his cap to me and let people see that, yeah, okay, anybody can get hurt, but like I say, it's about how you respond to getting hurt. He
Right.
got hurt, whether the storm came back and knocked Ortiz out. So that's kind of what it's all about. You know what I mean? Now we know. Okay, we can't say, oh, he ain't never faced no adversity. Now we can say he has and overcame it. So that's
Yeah.
another, accolade in his resume, as far as a champion. Another good strike, as being a good champion.
Right. Because I think a lot of people, they're not looking at the big picture. They're not looking at the fact that he went in there with a better boxer. We knew he was fighting a better boxer, but it wasn't like Wilder's going to train overnight to overcome that style technically. So what he did what he had to do with what he possesses. He came to bring the only tools that he had to beat the better fighter, the better boxer. But he proved to be the better fighter that night, which, I know some people still are going to try to knock. But to me, I think that, like you said, whenever he was in trouble, he knew exactly what to do. Whereas whenever Ortiz tasted that power, there were times when his whole demeanor changed. He went from looking confident, but when them right hands landed, it was just like he was getting rocked. He didn't really grab. He would just go down. But that's why I feel like a lot of people don't look at what Wilder accomplished in this fight. Because again, if Wilder would have just blew him out early, they would have just called him another bum. But
Right.
Ortiz, he really lived up to the name, and he really lived up to, being this threat to Wilder, which showed in this fight. But Wilder overcame the threat, you know?
Right. Right. And I mean, mind you, Ortiz was undefeated. I think they say he may have been dropped one other time. I don't remember whatever, but we never really seen this man in any type of trouble. A lot of people avoided him, so he didn't really have a big resume. But I mean, he did a damn good job, man. I was pulling for Wilder. I'm Team Wilder all day, but Ortiz really surprised me in there. Being however old he is, you know what I'm saying.
Right.
We can look and see that he's kind of on the older side of things, but I mean, he performed really well. Like I say, I mean, he was in there with a young line. I mean, it wasn't like he was in there with a tomato can. Deontay Wilder, wild punches and all, is dangerous.
Yeah.
No question about that. He's dangerous.
All at all
So,
times, man.
I mean, hats off to both those guys because they gave us a good fight that we always looking forward to seeing. So that's what's up.
I know, man, because like this heavyweight fight, like I, told you earlier, or a few weeks ago, I felt like it was when it was reannounced, it kind of had like we were talking about a different energy around it, after what Ortiz did. But just seeing his performance and the heart he showed, we can't forget, but I had to forgive him because
Yeah,
everybody makes mistakes, but he really came to win, man. He really came to give Wilder all he could handle. I think we saw the best Ortiz we seen that night. What do you think?
yeah, that's a good point that you brought up because I mean, the dirty thing is just it just don't sit right with me at all. But and I was really
Yeah, I'm
looking at.
probably saying that because Wilder did knock his ass out.
I mean, probably. Yeah, I mean, but you feeling sympathy? That's why you feeling different.
Yeah, I'm feeling
'Cause I,
sympathy,
I, don't,
bro.
but I don't feel as mad as I used to either, and I wasn't like
Yeah,
glad he knocked that motherfucker out. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I kind of was like, damn, because
yeah,
he won me back over in this fight, and he won me back over. I ain't gonna lie.
yeah.
Lewis won me back over in this fight by performing the way he did, and like I said I wanted Wilder to win. I'm Team Wilder.
Hmm.
But it was that good of a fight, this guy. I mean, he definitely made some fans that night, and you know what I mean, with a loss. That's why I say sometimes a loss isn't always a bad thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. It's not. Do you think that Ortiz's power? It's either Wilder just has a really good chin. Or do you think Ortiz's power is a little overrated?
Um, I mean, it's that's like $1 million question, that because it's so hard to say. I mean, like I always said from day one, Deontay Wilder, he got this small head. I didn't think he could withstand too many. Some of these
Mhm.
guys' fists are like blocks. So
Mhm.
I didn't think he could withstand too many shots. But that night, he definitely ate some shots from Victor Ortiz on the chin. You know what I mean? Good shots, and ate him. Um, the one that seemed like it really rocked him, he didn't see that coming. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what really caught him. Really caught him off guard or whatever. But he definitely ate some shots that night. But then I go back to Victor. I mean Luis Ortiz. I mean, what was his record? And he got like 24 knockouts or something like that. 28 fights, 24 knockouts, something like that.
20, I want to say 20, I think it's 24, 24-0 with 20 knockouts.
Okay, yeah, something is four. It's a difference in four fights or whatever. So whatever
Yeah.
it is,
Hmm.
but yeah. So I mean, he got to have some pop. And then you see what he did to Brian Jennings, and Jennings ain't really been the same since then to me, Ant. I
Yeah.
mean, that uppercut he got him with, and this dude just went face down. You remember that?
Man, when you
Yeah,
mentioned that, I remember. Yeah, yeah, that was one of the fights you told me to go back and look at one time. Yeah, and I went
yeah,
back and
man.
looked. Yeah, he was gone, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was yeah, 28-0 with 24 knockouts.
It was 28 and 24.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. So I mean, that's why I say that's a hard question, that because you know, I mean,
yeah,
I would lean towards more the power is there, and he big, he 241 pounds. I mean, he big dude. You know how to punch. I would lean more to the power being there than not being there.
yeah, yeah. I asked that
Um,
question because I know now a lot of people are going to kind of talk about Wilder's chin in this fight. Some people might say it's not that good, but I saw it as being good because I feel
yeah,
like Ortiz's power is there, and I didn't really see Wilder's legs buckle though, which means his chin is
yeah,
that good. I think he was
that's what I
just
say.
like he said. I think he was just sick because the punches,
But
when he did the punches, he just looked a little more sick and exhausted. Whether his legs never really buckle like whenever Wilder hit him. When Wilder hit Ortiz, he went on the back foot. He went like was nearly out. Whereas whenever
but if
like
you no, I was gonna say if you gonna say Wilder ain't got no chin, then Ortiz don't got a chin because
right,
he got dropped and knocked out.
exactly, yeah,
So if one of them had a chin,
yeah, yeah. That's
I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, neither one of them had a chin.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm
You
saying.
can't
Like
dispute that.
people going to question his. I mean, it's like you're gonna have to question Wilder's too, because I mean, question Ortiz because he was the one
Yeah,
knocked out.
he got knocked out. He got dropped and knocked out. Wilder didn't get.
Right.
He got one round, really. And but we know he ate some shots. We seen Ortiz land on him several times, and he took them well. I mean, you just gotta say it. I mean,
Hmm.
but different angles, different ways you get hit. I mean, different things can happen. I know he hit Ortiz a couple times on the temple, and that right hand on the temple. Whew, I can only
That
imagine
thing.
that thing, boy. You dizzy as crap.
Yeah, because you,
You
you
know,
you remember that one that landed right. There was a right hand that landed right in Ortiz's face too. That was the one that kind of like gave him that bad reaction. It was just like one that hit him right on the nose. That was the one that made me see like in Ortiz's eyes that he realized what he's in there with. It kind of made him rethink some things. But again, I mean, I take my hat off to Wilder. Ortiz because Ortiz stayed in there, man.
yeah, man.
He,
Yeah, he was game. He didn't fold as far as trying to quit or looking for an excuse. He came out every round and you know attempted to do his thing and did a good job.
yeah,
Did a good.
man. That's all I ask. Like, not every fighter is gonna like win every single round and then cap it off with a knockout. There's gonna be some up and downs in there. There's gonna be some up and down moments in there, but it's all on you to find that way to win. It ain't gonna always be pretty as long as
Exactly.
you can get it, man. That's how I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah. And I mean, like, it's always gonna be a guy who's a better boxer than another guy, and they act like this is the first time that ever happened. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
always guys who are stylistically or just a more fundamentally solid boxer than the guy they're facing. You can say
Yeah,
that about a lot of matches. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but
yeah.
styles make fights. styles make fights, Ant. That's
all
just
day,
bottom line.
man. All day, and that lead me to this one fight is just a good example. I watch a other fighter named Julian Jackson. You seen him? Well, you seen I posted some stuff about him before, and like he one of the hardest hitters in the game, and he was fighting this guy from the UK named Harold Graham, and the dude was just outboxing him just about every single round. And Julian Jackson, he just stayed on him the whole fight. He just stayed on him until bam, he just landed the one shot and knocked him out. And everybody kind of forgets all them other rounds that he was losing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't see why people can't give, they don't give they hate to give Wilder that credit that even though he was losing, he was able to still pull this win out.
Yeah.
And to me, that kind of goes to another question. Like, do you think people are ever going to respect Wilder? Do you think they're ever really going to see him as that true champion if he gets past somebody like Joshua?
I mean, on paper they won't be able to deny it, but they might do him like a Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Floyd Mayweather still don't get the credit or the props he deserves. So I mean, we our people do us like that in a
Yeah,
heartbeat. You
yeah,
know what I mean? For whatever reason, I don't know, but they will do that to you.
yeah.
You
Because
know,
people always they got to remember too. They call Muhammad Ali the greatest, and everybody loves him. But in the beginning, they didn't love him.
right?
White, they didn't. Whatever the people were, they didn't love him. They didn't respect his views. They weren't. Whether it was outside the ring or in the ring, they didn't really respect him for the
For
choices
standing
he
up for yeah,
yeah about the
standing up.
war. And then even in the ring, a lot of the times people would say, "Oh, he's dancing too much, and he's doing this, he ain't doing that." But come come present day, now you love him, but you forgot all these things that you were saying about him before. Now you actually respect what he does. So, and
Yeah,
another thing
but
too, like they talk about Wilder's style. I mean, go back and look at George Foreman. He wasn't the best technically fighter. He was knocking people out, but he had some wild looping shots too. He was knocking people out the same way.
there been
You
a
know,
million fighters. There been a
yeah,
million fighters in the game who had a style that wasn't
yeah. But George, he's
fundamentally.
the one that everybody loves now. You love him.
It's,
Everybody loves him now. But if you look at his style, it's no different than Wilder. It's his. So I just think that it's going to take a while for people to actually respect him and actually appreciate what he's doing.
yeah, yeah. But he can't let that worry him. He still got to just push forward and accomplish his goals. I mean, because that's just the world. That's just life.
Yeah.
People are going to try to do whatever they can, but like I said, when he smoked Joshua, they can't. It's nothing they can say.
Hmm.
I'm the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, whether you like it or not. When Mike Tyson was do you think they wanted to accept that? No, they didn't, but they had to.
You
I
got to,
got this
yeah.
animal over here. This animal is the champion,
All
but
right.
they had to, you know what I mean? So I mean, Deontay Wilder is nowhere. I mean, that's the thing about it, and he's a gentleman. He carry himself, with some type of dignity, pride. You know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
understand where the hate is. Ali made a stand. He stood up against the white man,
Yeah.
and doing something like that, you're gonna get backlash. But
Right.
Wilder hasn't done anything like that. I don't really get that. That's a little annoying about people. Why they would just hate on a person for no reason. I mean, or don't want to see good for a person for no reason. I mean, he dedicating his life to the sport right now.
Yeah.
I mean, dedicate your life and you put the work in. Why can't you reap the benefits, Ant? And that's all he trying to do. And Ant, too, America or particular people don't like a confident brother. And that's just something they got to deal with, man. He's a
Oh, yeah.
confident brother, and they got a problem with that. He's not out here doing nothing illegal, robbing or stealing, killing or raping nobody. He's a professional athlete, and he's a confident brother. And that's what people have a problem with, confident brothers. Floyd Mayweather is a confident brother. They hate him for being confident. I mean, that's ridiculous, man. You know what I mean? And that's
Especially
just something that people had to accept because I'm gonna be a confident brother, and I hope you're gonna be a confident brother. I don't want to see no brothers holding their heads down and bowing down. You know, no, regardless of how much money you got, you still a man. Still
right.
supposed to hold yourself to a standard and hold your head high. So I mean, those things are just virtue to me, and that don't matter about money or anything. That's just every day. I'm doing that every day, working at. We do that every day. Demand respect because we give it.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
just that. But Wilder, like you say, man, people won't fully appreciate him probably till he gone at. You know what I mean? But that's just part of the game sometimes, unfortunately, for particular fighters. AJ is a star. He'll never be forgotten ever now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he don't got the resume to really back that up. It's just the stars lined up for him, man, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he don't deserve. I'm not deserve, but he hasn't really accomplished anything to get the accolades that he's getting. I
No.
mean, like I say, I mean, you got the Klitschko win, but like I say, that was an older man who had you on Queer Street. You know what I'm saying? Something
Yeah.
bad. Was that round 7 too? What
Which
round
one?
was that?
What? Whenever when
That Klitschko laid
yeah, yeah, it was like round 7. Yeah, when he laid Joshua down, yeah, it was like round in the mid rounds. It was like round 7. Yeah. Well,
so I mean, like I say, I'm not bashing him. He seems like a really cool dude or whatever, but I'm just saying, you got one man over here fighting anything and everything and fighting for the respect and not getting it. And you got one man, you just throwing it to him. You know what I'm saying? He don't gotta fight.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
And that
kind of
kind
messed.
of, that was my question again too. Like a lot of people when they see the Klitschko fight versus Joshua, they ask, if that fight was more meaningful than Wilder versus Ortiz. Or to me, I feel like the Wilder Ortiz was more of a cap. I feel like that was more of a defining fight for for an undefeated prime heavyweight
Right.
because you're taking on the guy of now. The guy hadn't been knocked out. The guy hadn't been hurt. He's the guy that's considered dangerous, just as dangerous as Joshua, just as dangerous as Wilder. So you taking him on now, which, well, let's compare. Say like if Keith Thurman he was fighting Manny Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford was fighting Errol Spence. Keith Thurman he knocks out Pacquiao, then Terrence Crawford he knocks out Errol Spence. Which would be more defining to you? Errol Spence win, right?
Of course.
Because he's fighting the guy of now that was the more dangerous fighter.
Exactly.
So to me, like just fighting somebody that everybody already kind of knows, and he's older, already been knocked out, and he gave you trouble because he did knock you down. To me,
Right.
it's impressive. It's impressive because yeah, it was a passing. I can't really say it was a passing to the champions because Tyson Fury already beat him.
Yeah. And
So
that's the thing. Klitschko was looked at as a man on a downslide, and
hmm
not the downside, the downslide. He was going down.
right,
Ortiz, like I said, Ortiz wasn't going down. He was holding steady. He was holding steady, but he was undefeated. Like I said, had never really been beat up in the ring. So to me, it's just it's definitely a more prominent win.
yeah,
Klitschko got the name, but we talking about the fight. The caliber of the fight. You know what I'm saying? That not
right.
just the name. You know.
So
So
if Joshua is able to beat Joseph Parker, he was talking about. I think they were trying to give him another mandatory man, but will you accept that, man? Are you going to accept that if he has to fight Gerald Miller next? Should the people accept that or no? It should just all roads lead to Wilder, right?
I mean, if you want to do the right thing, you need to fight Wilder next. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
mean, but that's if he want to do the right thing. You know what I mean? Like I say, he's dealing with a different set of circumstances. He got options on the table. He's already a huge millionaire already, in the game. So he ain't hurting for money. I mean, he a champion. He got the belt already. It's a few things that he good on already, and that really makes me think, question his hunger for this,
Mm.
his
Yeah,
hunger for this. That's the difference. Deontay Wilder wants to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Is that something that Anthony Joshua really wants? Man, I got millions. I'm famous. I got options, movie deals. Man, fuck this. Why do I want to get hit in the face?
right.
I mean,
And like
you
you said,
know,
that's no knock on him, right? If you got the opportunities,
yeah, that's a beautiful thing, eh? This man
yeah,
is in a beautiful situation by all means. Shit. You put that on anybody's table and they say, damn, do I want to go taste this right hand from Deontay Wilder, or do I want to go take off my shirt and take a couple pictures and let me weigh this. I mean, come on.
right,
Come on,
right.
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
That's a no-brainer. It's just, and then, you know, he got the title in 10 years, and that's like very impressive. So how much do that really mean when it came that
came that soon.
I won't
Yeah,
say easy, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But it was definitely easier than it was for other people to attain that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, because for him, yeah, that's just like
He
it.
blazed through.
Yeah, he blazed through it. It's like you don't. I'm not gonna say he don't have that killer instinct or nothing, the fighter mentality, because I don't know him. But me personally, just thinking about it, once I'm able to get something easy, it won't really put me in that determined mind frame. You know what I mean? To
Exactly. Life
always
is too
drive for
crazy
stuff
right
because I'm
now.
always getting it. I'm gonna always be getting it. Where you look at Wilder, he's like, this is the only road I know, so I'm gonna walk through fire to get this. I'm gonna have to. I know that's all I see. I gotta go. That's all I can do. I can't look back. Whereas Joshua, he ain't gotta just look forward. He can look to the side. He can look left, right, up, and down.
Everywhere. Like I said, Joshua, he got everything. Deontay Wilder got some money. I'm sure he a millionaire, but he fighting for respect, eh? When he
Yeah.
sit back and turn on the TV and Joshua and all these ads and doing all this, I mean, that
It's like
gotta
he
bother
already
him.
made it, right? You know what I mean? It's like Joshua already he solidified as some type of UK figure where Wilder,
He's solidified already, dude.
yeah,
Yes, you know what I
yeah.
mean.
Whereas like we were saying, Wilder, he's a heavyweight champion, but he's still not recognized. So to
Recognize.
really be recognized, which is what he wants, he has to fight Joshua. Whereas Joshua feels he don't have to fight Wilder, which
He
is
had to
gonna
fight
make
for a
it
lot of
easier.
reasons. Yeah,
Yeah.
for a lot of different reasons. So we're just like, I mean, like I say, and if he hung the belt up the day tomorrow, all right, yeah, man. I was a heavyweight champion at 26. He already didn't raise the
Mhm.
bar real high. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
We wouldn't
Raise
be mad at him, but at the same time, we would know where to rate him as a heavyweight. We would know where to rate him as a fighter.
right,
I
right,
know where to
right.
rate him as a
Exactly.
businessman. I say, "Oh, you did right as a businessman."
Yeah. So I mean,
So, trick question, which I posted on Instagram: which fight do you think happens first, Thurman Spence or AJ Wilder? Just by what
um,
we were talking about.
I mean, I would say Keith Thurman and Earl Spence because they they really after a while they're not gonna have a choice. Like I say, Anthony Joshua always got a backdoor exit. He always got to X out the game if he wants it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
These two guys don't. They probably not millionaires yet, or not high millionaires. So they fighting for the money, the respect. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot. It's a lot there for them. Whereas AJ, I don't know if the world can put enough pressure on him to make him feel like I gotta go in there and do that. I don't know if they can do that, eh? This man, his mother's taken care of, he taken care of, he good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Force me to go in there and risk my life against this right hand, man. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know if he got that type of dog in him. I haven't seen it, but we'll see. Time will tell.
yeah. Because like with him, only AJ knows what's in his own mind, and the only other person maybe closest to it might be Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn's the one that's kind of being his guiding hand. And you never know, Eddie Hearn could be telling him, "Hey, man, you might not want to take this fight because we're thinking money first, and then money and safety first. We're not thinking a big challenge yet. You know what I mean? Or we're just in this to make money."
Of course, Eddie Hearn is a businessman.
Yeah,
He don't want you to lose because then his payday go down. Yours
Yeah,
go down, but his go down too. So Eddie Hearn is a businessman. Of course, he navigating towards this, but this is about the fans. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I mean,
Because like I said
see,
once before, like
when you
maybe
got that
10.
belt on, no, Ant, when you got the
Mm,
belt on, Ant, it's no questions. Take off the belt and be a contender or fighter, fine. But once you
right.
got the belt, it's no discussion, dude. It's not up for debate. You got a belt. You have to fight. It's
You have to
no
fight.
me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To me.
Well, that's kind of like puts things into question, perspective. Because like I said before, I might have mentioned this before, maybe like 10 years ago, Rock Newman, um,
Mm-hmm.
Riddick Bowe's manager, when he was on ESPN, and this was well after Riddick Bowe retired, he kind of said like, my job was to make sure my fighter was taken care of, make as much money as he can, but make sure he didn't get hurt. Those were
Right.
kind of like his words. So I guess there are some certain extents when your manager might say you might not want to take this fight.
Yeah. Now, it will be it's Eddie Hearn, who comes from a lineage. His dad was in the game, probably his grandfather, but he comes from the game. He's not a new promoter in the game by no means. He has to know the importance of this fight and has to put, money aside. This is about more than money right here. But,
Mm-hmm.
you can't say that they wouldn't, say that. I mean, I was thinking more of a caring way, and like, look, dude, I love you. I don't think this is a good thing. I could see a dude maybe saying that,
Mm-hmm.
but I, I don't, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I mean, it's hard to say when you ain't fighting that. They ain't fighting, man. I mean, because if I'm fighting, I feel like I'm doing what the hell I want to do. You ain't going in there fighting. You can whisper in my ear and all this stuff, but I feel like if I'm fighting, I'm doing what I want to do. Whether I want to take a dangerous fight or I want to take a tomato can, it's going to be, my decision. But I mean, like I say, when you wearing the belt, and all them entities need to be null and void because this is
All those
about,
voices, yeah, all those voices got to be out.
yeah, man. It's just not right. I mean, because somebody could do that and talk a person out of a fight, and that's just some bullshit.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Because I'm sure there's plenty of times in history where some of the oldest fighters that we've seen, there's been little whispers in their ear telling them not to take such and such, but some of them have done it. And the
Yeah,
ones
that's what
we
I'm
know have
saying.
done it,
Yeah,
we've seen their resumes,
exactly. Some of them have done it and won the fight.
and won the fight.
Like I told y'all don't believe in me, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's another thing too, and a lot of these fighters are just looked at as a meal ticket, a dollar sign. You know what I mean? They
Hmm.
don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they got to know that too. They got to say, look, everything is good. I'm winning right now. But what happens when something happens? You know what I mean? Are these same people, is Eddie Hearn gonna be whispering in my ear then? Hey man, I need those keys back from that Bentley I
Yeah,
gave
it
you
wasn't
last month.
paid.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
you
That's a
know,
that's it's a scary, sad thing though. That's why
it is.
whenever a fighter like AJ has those other opportunities, if he can get what he wants out of the game, then yeah, just give up the belts and give up that championship and go live. Don't if you feel like there's some type of risk factor where you don't want to take that punch no more, and you got all of these other opportunities now, you got to let somebody else have it. You gotta
Yeah.
let somebody else, because like you said, like there could be a point whenever you do lose, and your promoter or your manager might say, let me get that back now. I need all that back, and they're never going to answer that call no more.
Hey, Ant, come on, dude. Don King, at the end of the fight, he would go over there to the dude who just beat you. He will be promoting you. At the end of the fight, if you lost, he will walk in the ring and walk over to the other fighter and hold his hand up. And you're a promoter. So
Dude,
where you think he learned the business from, the game from? You
look,
already
here's an
know.
example. I was watching this documentary on Larry Holmes one time, and Larry Holmes was like, man, he was like, the day you one day you might be making $1 million, next minute you might be making 200,000, then you making 5,000, and once you're dealing with him, if you lose, man, there was a time when he didn't even have enough for a bus ticket home, man. Like
Yeah.
by the time he paid all of them off, and like his promoter left him, he was just like, man, I didn't have enough for a bus ticket home.
Is that the documentary when he said after the Mike Tyson fight he went home and got drunk?
Yeah,
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 that was
yeah.
pretty
Mhm.
good. Yeah, that was
Yeah, that was a
pretty
good one. Yeah, they used to do. That was another side. They used to do some good ones. It was like Fox Sports, I think, because they did
yeah,
one. Him, Roy, Bernard. They did some good ones, man.
yeah. Like that old stuff. What was it? King of the Ring. It
King of the
was
Ring and
on.
Behind the Glory.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What was it at? Beyond the Glory. Yeah, all that good stuff. They
Behind the Glory or something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Glory. So yeah, missed those shows, but
But all
yeah,
right, y'all. Like I always say, make sure y'all subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. And you can follow us on the FIT, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just look up hashtag Jab Podcast. That's the only thing that come up because we're the only ones in this lane. But
Eric,
yeah, man. Like I would say, my name is Ant,
your boy P.
and we about to sign off, y'all. Peace.
Peace.